Real Nerds is a proud partner of the Denver Podcast Network. In the shadow of the mountains,
we speak. Coming to you from the X-Axis, it's John of All Trades with your host, John X.
Welcome to this John of All Trades podcast promo. Each Wednesday, I bring you a brand new interview with someone fascinating and ask the question we all ask when we meet someone new. Hey, what do you do? It's fun, informative, and it's the 2017 Westward Reader's Choice Award winner for Best Denver Podcast, iTunes, Stitcher, and johnofalltrades.us.
Oh, hi, podcast listeners. There's many ways you can listen to the Real Nerds podcast. You can subscribe on iTunes. You can also subscribe on Stitcher Radio. You want to send us a Twitter message? You can do that. It's so easy, at Real Nerds. Like us on Facebook, Real Nerds Podcast. You can visit our website, realnerdspodcast.com, where there'll be a lot of articles for you to not only read, but to listen to our previous shows. You can also call us, 720-6nerds5. Thanks for listening, and enjoy the show.
I'm Andre Gower.
And I'm Ryan Lambert.
And you're listening to
Real Nerds Podcast.
I bet you didn't know we were also dramatic readers of good Star Wars Shakespeare?
Yeah.
We'll just say that.
At times. Hey, there's people in the room.
There is.
When are we supposed to start? How late was I?
Well, we'll start anyways.
Okay.
Welcome to Real Nerds Podcast. We're also known as unofficially the official podcast at Denver Comic-Con. That's because we've been here for 7 years, and they gave us that moniker 7 years ago. I'm Ryan. To my right is Brad. In the middle is James. On the end is Zach. I'm going to introduce them because they're not paying attention to me.
No.
Brad likes long walks on the beach. James likes comics. And Zach likes being.
Bean?
Being. I don't know.
Oh,
Being? Oh, I couldn't hear it.
I like
I'm here.
being.
I'm being.
Western
in
accent.
the moment.
Oh.
And if you don't know what we do, every week we go see a new movie and we podcast our experience to the world. This week we would have seen Incredibles 2, but we're here doing our podcast, and so we have something special planned for you that may or may not have visual help. We do a special thing we call a Film-Splosion, and our Film-Splosion is we take 10 films that we love throughout the year and rank them, so 10 through 1. But we changed it up because we only have 50 minutes, and you probably don't want to hear us talk that long anyways. So we're doing a thing called a Comic-Consplosion, where we're going to pick our 3 favorite superhero comic book films and reveal them to you and talk about them, and you're more than welcome to yell at us. We do have some awesome Meebo prizes to give out, and shirts as well. Yeah. If you are a young woman, we have our women's shirts left from this year. And then if you would like a man shirt, we have them from previous years. The ones from this year are our Han Solo shirts. James has our company shirt that no one else wore. So
I don't know why you guys didn't get the memo.
So he sticks out like a sore thumb.
I clearly communicated.
And we'll get started with the count. Is this going to load, Brad? He had one job. His one job is...
Just give me another minute. Trying to figure out why.
Okay. Random person in the audience, shout out your favorite comic book movie.
How do people win things? Do they just insult us?
Go ahead, ma'am. Spider-Man, girl to my heart.
Seriously. I'm pretty sure, not to be unfair, I'm pretty sure that all 3 of your selections are Spider-Man movies.
They're not. I'm going to blow your mind. Are you a fan of the first Spider-Man or The Amazing or Homecoming? Yes.
Fair.
See?
Yeah.
That's the person that I love, because I think Spider-Man is the greatest superhero ever, and also the greatest superhero movies. And see, and that people in the front agree with me. Everybody else who doesn't is just wrong.
My goodness.
So thank you for participating, ma'am. If I had to give you a shirt, what size would you like? Do we?
Of 2016 and 14.
Okay.
Well, just come up afterwards. We'll give you something free. Yeah.
Yes, we do have them. What?
Which year?
What year would you like?
We'll figure it out afterwards. Don't worry about it.
We have Star Trek or Us.
We're so organized.
Well, I'm just killing time. I'm waiting.
I know. Yeah, let me do this. Yeah. Zach, how you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Good.
I feel like we're separated by an invisible wall.
Yeah, well, I intentionally didn't want to sit next to you.
I know. It's fine.
I asked them not to put a mic down there.
I've got terrible diseases that you don't.
You're
wanna
fine.
catch.
You're adorable.
Yeah.
Everybody loves you. Anyway, did anybody go see Incredibles 2 this week? Anybody? No? You're all here? All right. So at least we're not, like, guilty of, some terrible sin. I feel bad that I haven't seen it. Are people saying it's good?
Of what?
Incredibles 2.
Yes, they're saying it was worth the wait.
Oh, man. Is it worth the 3 days more waiting that I have to do?
Yes, we are not their opening day, and it's like a part of our soul is gone.
Seriously.
And
Yeah. I don't know what to do.
it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, we have something. There it goes. It's loading.
I love when the visual aspects of an audio podcast really come together.
Yes, it's a part that really sells the podcast when people listen to this online. And they're like, I can just picture what they're showing up there. We'll describe it. I'm guessing it's going to be some hero facing the camera.
There we go.
All right.
Great.
There it is.
There it is.
All right.
So,
Brad,
yes,
you're the best.
we'll be doing top 3 comic book movies, and I saw that Zach's first up there. So go ahead and start the first slide. And Zach, what's your number 3 comic book movie?
My number 3 comic book movie is the most excited I was for a comic book movie for some reason, but I loved it and kept going back to it. My number 3 is Watchmen.
Oh, right. There's no
Wait,
trailer.
Yeah, there's
We
no
don't
trailer.
have to pause.
Also, you said you're really excited about it. I need you to bring it up.
I was excited.
He's like,
yell into the
I'm
mic.
really excited
Man,
when
you're
it
gonna
came
hurt
out,
people's
and it's Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder, it's sad.
I didn't read the book until 2007.
Oh, okay.
After picking it up from a con, and I devoured the heck out of it, and just it seemed like an impossible task. And after watching 300, I was like, well, he's the only one, I guess, who could clearly do it. Now that opinion's changed over time, but what the anticipation for it, because it was like not a PG-13 property. It was definitely going to be unsettling to some or others. So I went to the Colorado Center or the Continental for the premiere and their giant screen before they RPX'd it, and it was just a sea of people. Like, it was packed. Everyone sat for that 2.5 to 2 hours and 45 minutes.
And they left and were disappointed.
No,
No.
I saw people that I knew from school, like senior year, like they came out and they were just like, I loved it, and they asked me, what do you think? And I was like dressed up in a Rorschach trench coat, going like, I loved it.
And actually, no one was disappointed, because the people who didn't like the movie were still excited, because that was the movie that premiered the Dark Knight trailer. So I knew a lot of people who, like, I had bought tickets. Yeah, you remember. I had bought tickets, and I had friends who were like stealing my Watchmen tickets. They didn't care anything about Watchmen. They just wanted to see that trailer in theaters.
Was it the IMAX where they show it before? What movie was that?
No. It was I Am
Watchmen
Legend.
comes out the year.
Was
after.
Legend?
It was I Am Legend in IMAX. They showed.
That's why I don't remember.
They showed the opening of. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's why none of us saw the IMAX. Yeah.
So yeah, but like Snyder took on a very daunting task to adapt that for a mainstream audience, let alone a comic book audience, and I think that it balances itself out really well.
Yeah.
Having said that, though, the one I saw in theaters doesn't even compare to watching the Black Freighter cut, in my opinion, which gives you the full fan experience while still tweaking with some stuff. So
if you have 4 hours, you should definitely take that thing becomes as long as Hamlet if you take the whole cut. But it's amazing.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
And the soundtrack
it's
was
good
awesome
enough,
too.
right?
Yeah.
Like you said, that book is proven, I think, to be unfilmable now, because now we tried.
Yeah.
But it was good enough. Like, it was a Herculean task.
Yeah, exactly.
And I certainly don't blame
And now
him
Damon
for trying
Lindelof's
so
trying
hard.
to do it again, and I guess that's cool.
Yeah. Well, that'll be a TV show. You could do more in a TV show.
I know.
Anybody else Watchmen fans out there? Nope, Zach.
Nope.
Oh, 1, 2.
There's a couple. There you go.
There you go.
I saw a deliberate head shake of no. I do not like that movie.
Throughout
you should move on right now.
You know what I'm
Throughout the
talking
years-
about, depressing superheroes.
Shut up, Zach. Throughout the years, every time Zach picks movies on our Filmsplosion, eventually we just shake our head and be like, dude, no.
At least Henry's not here. His first pick would have been like Ghost Rider because it's hilarious.
It would have been La Avengers, some French.
Yeah.
We also have a guy who, one of our nerds, he lives in New York and he goes to film school, so he's very pretentious. So his lists always come in and it's like 4-hour-long French movies, and like no one wants to see this except for him.
They're fantastic.
I'm the mainstream guy if you haven't figured that out yet. Who's the next person?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Let's ask the slide.
Yeah.
Hey,
Brad!
it's me.
You self-serving
All right.
son of a...
All right. What did I pick? Well, let's just ask the computer. Oh, yeah, Thor Ragnarok. Yeah. Is my number 3
So
on the
you're
list.
a big fan.
Yeah, big fan. Totally memorable.
Oh, absolutely.
This is very recent and tons of fun. It's great that they took 2 characters that aren't quite the most popular of the Avengers, I think, and then made this incredibly funny buddy comedy.
Yeah.
So it's one of those movies too that as soon as you go to it, you go out and buy the soundtrack or the score because the score is so
by Mark
memorable.
Mothersbaugh from Devo. Yeah, Devo.
And it's very memorable, and the colors and the humor.
Yeah, the production design they were talking about on the Blu-ray bonus features. It's all inspired by Jack Kirby's comic book art. So they a lot of attention to detail on that, and then the commentary on the Blu-ray, Taika Waititi, he makes fun of his own movie, so he never gives you any information about how it was made. Really, he just makes false facts about what he did, and then he also brings his kid in while he goes to the bathroom. So his 2-year-old is just rambling.
Oh, and she keeps asking him to change the movie. Yeah. She's like, "Can we watch Finding Dory?" Like, I don't. This movie's not good.
Yeah.
Like, it's hilarious. It's better than the movie.
And Kate Blanchett's amazing in it.
Oh gosh, I saw a really good Hela yesterday. Walking around
it's
the
a cool
floor
character.
Upstairs. Yeah, they're great.
Threatening, scary.
Yeah. And the soundtrack to that movie is so good that it makes Avengers Infinity War not quite as good. Because when Thor shows up and they don't play Immigrant Song, it's disappointing. Like it's fine, but you just really wish Immigrant Song was playing. That's a good choice.
So we do have a Link amiibo, and if anybody can guess one of our movies, just randomly yell it out. I'll just give it to you. Spider-Man. Hang on.
Yeah.
Should I answer it or?
Well, I'm sorry.
I heard a right answer, so should we give it?
There were a couple. Well, there was at least one.
Your fiance doesn't count.
I was gonna say, I really don't think she should win because I don't want to have that.
But stay tuned. Spider-Man will show or will not show up.
Yeah. Well, who said Spider-Man? Do you know who just won that?
Oh yeah, someone in the very back.
Oh, okay, good. All right,
Arachnid
cool.
boy.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, James, you're up.
Oh, good.
I'm always like when I'm last because it's the most important list.
My number 3 is, oh my gosh, Wolverine's here. Hi.
Be cool.
Okay. My number 3 is not a Wolverine movie yet. My number 3 is a movie that, man, when I first saw it, it's so kinetic and beautiful and was, for me, maybe does the best job of like making a movie feel visually like a comic book. And when I saw it in theaters, I did not stop grinning from ear to ear the whole time. My number 3 is Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which I loved those books, and that movie is not. Yeah, they change plenty of stuff, and I'm glad they do. They should make it their own. But man, Edgar Wright's style in that film is so beautiful, and as soon as the music starts, you are having so much fun, and that movie has so much momentum that it's in my opinion impossible not to love that movie. It's just exciting, and it's also fun because Scott Pilgrim is. Are there actually kids in this room? Yeah. No, Scott Pilgrim's like a kind of an ass and a real loser. And yes, he's your hero, and so but you don't realize until you get through the movie something, you're like, oh, you're terrible. Like, you're just not a very good person, and I really need you to get fixed by the end of this movie.
And I'm always down for Chris Evans being douchey guy because so it's really funny, tricking him to go on a skateboard. It just makes me laugh.
Yes.
And he plays douchey guy really well. Any Not Another Teen movie fans out there?
Who's the other? Who's the vegan warrior guy? Oh, is it Brandon Routh?
Yeah, Brandon Routh.
Yeah, Brandon
which
Routh.
is great.
Oh my gosh, he's so good.
I love when the police high five each other. You know?
Yes.
I love the scene right when when Clifton Collins Jr. and I think it's Nathan Fillion deactivate him of his vegan powers.
Yes.
It's milk and eggs, bitch. Sorry. Bad word, sorry.
I think my favorite part of Scott Pilgrim is how dense the movie is. Like,
Yes.
at any point, you can take your eyes off of what the characters are doing on screen and look in the background, and Edgar Wright has crafted something else to pay attention to.
It's surprisingly lean. Like, he moves on as quickly as he can, right? Like, those smash cuts and everything make sure that there is no dead time in that movie, unless it's intentional. So, yeah.
Very well. Anybody want to guess what my first movie is?
It's Spider-Man.
It is not.
Spider-Man 2.
No. I am a huge...
You listen to the show!
I am a huge defender of Spider-Man 3.
Italian Spider-Man.
Because I'm a big Spider-Man snob, and I always get, I guess, animated when people go, that's not Venom, and it's literally the Venom story. And I go, it's what it is. Right. And it irritates me. I'm a Steve Ditko, Stan Lee kind of Spider-Man hero guy and villain.
Move on. It's not Spider-Man.
Yeah. So anyways, it's not Spider-Man. Thank you. And
you're welcome. Here to help.
But I also want to bring attention to movies that maybe people don't know with this pick, because this graphic novel has made me cry. And when I was in the theater seeing it with the creator of this graphic novel, it made me cry even more. So my number 3 pick is a little indie gem called I Kill Giants, written by Joe Kelly, and it just came out recently. And it's about a little girl named Barbara and her quest to kill the giants in her coastal town. But what makes the movie so great is it's really not what you think it is, and it's a really fantastic story, and the backstory behind it's really beautiful as well. Joe Kelly wrote it. He's an amazing comic book writer, and also you might know him from Ben 10. He's also does Man of Action, so he's very well versed in all aspects of writing.
I'm so glad you picked this, because I didn't put it on my list because honestly, as much as I think the movie is a good adaptation, like I don't love it the way that I love the book. But that's not on them. They had like $15 to make that movie. So but the actors are all amazing.
Yeah, when I talked to Joe Kelly about it, that's his one problem with I guess the one limitation is they didn't have a budget of X-Men, Spider-Man, and so the payoff with the giants is good, but it's not an epic fight that he wanted.
Yeah.
Just know that it's a little indie film, but it's amazing. The lead actress in it was in The Conjuring 2, and she's amazing. She's very good. Madison Wolfe is her name.
And if you've never read the book, go read the book. Just don't read it in public, because then you'll cry in front of people.
Yeah, me and James make sure we distribute it out to people. I've bought it 4 times. How many times have you bought it?
4 or 5.
Yeah.
Though one of those is cheating, because I gave one to my fiance, so I'll get that one back here soon.
So you'll have 2 copies like me, both signed by Joe Kelly.
Oh yeah, I do have 2 again. Yeah.
So
it's a great book.
Yes, absolutely. And it's a great movie. Find it on iTunes for like $3. What?
Hey, how'd that get in here?
You son of a bitch.
You self-serving.
So
you can watch this on YouTube.
Hey, Brad, when can people see your movie?
You can watch it every time on YouTube.
How do I cut
if you don't know, Brad also made a movie. Brad's a filmmaker. Brad is very talented. He designed all our shirts. And we didn't know this was in here, so I guess I'll just, play with his ego here.
Yeah, just look up Jean-Claude Van Damme, Stan Van on YouTube.
This is a kid's show, sir.
Yeah. Originally, it was a Funny or Die thing where you had to make a minute-long video to put on there?
2-minute-long video, yeah.
2 minute?
And there was green screen footage they gave you to incorporate into it, and we took 8 months to do it. So
yeah, he took all the footage and put Van Damme into the movie, and it is...
it's fun.
Moving on. Good job, Brad. What now?
Controlled our own show.
Zach, is this one making you excited too?
Yeah, because this...
Quick, someone guess Zach's next movie.
Oh.
Just yell one out.
Ooh, Meteor Man is really good. That's a deep cut.
The Shadow is up his
Wait a minute.
I'm
Who
not
said The Shadow?
Pick Meteor Man.
Yeah, The Shadow is also a good... Whoever said The Shadow
Who said
also
The Shadow?
listens. Yeah, you listen to the show. All right.
I'm going to
That
give you an
came very
amiibo because Zach talked about The Shadow like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And that you randomly shouted out some really...
Also, because it's awesome.
Different
So I assume you guessed The Shadow because you were like, that
comic
deserves to
book
be
movie.
someone's number... There you go.
So you are a proud owner of 8-Bit Link.
Okay. Awesome. So
Zach, what's your number 2?
But my number 2 is actually my comfort food comic book movie. My number 2 is Hellboy 2: The Golden Army.
Ooh. Believe it or not, he's the good guy.
Oh, wait, you're saying I want an amiibo too? We got more.
That's a weird good cut. Man.
I watched the first one when it came out, but it didn't grab my attention when I was younger for whatever reason, but then 2008 was really good for comic book movies, guys.
Yeah.
And this one in particular, I feel like got lost in the shuffle, especially I worked at a movie theater at the time, and that was the emptiest of the theaters we had, which also had Iron Man and then eventually Dark Knight. But this one's great, and I think Guillermo del Toro gets a chance to kind of stretch out that universe a little bit more and have a little more fun with it. It's definitely kind of like a comedy, too, in its own way. And it's got I don't think I've ever been into Barry Manilow prior to that movie, but then when Hellboy and Gilman or Abe Sapien, are singing "Can't Smile Without You," it's the most touching thing ever, and it kind of reminds me oh yeah, I have feelings.
I love that you said Gilman accidentally.
He doesn't emote them, but he has them.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, but no, it's great. And then I also think with any Guillermo del Toro movie, you go for the creatures, and that scene where they're in the black marketplace is just wonderful.
Oh yeah.
I love the final moment interaction between Liz and Hellboy.
Yeah.
I think it makes me want a third one so much that we're not going to get, but I know that whatever they do with Dave Harbour is going to be awesome too. So
yeah,
but,
you'll get a nice reboot.
And also that along with Pan's Labyrinth made me fall in love with Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
And that's why when Shape of Water came out and then got the Oscar, I was just so happy for him.
I was gonna say I love that you said you accidentally said Gilman because it just points out that the guy just won an Oscar for doing the same thing he's done in 2 other movies.
And also it's nice that Doug Jones gets to use his own voice in that one, and it's not David Hyde Pierce. No disrespect to him, but
no, yes, absolutely.
So Golden Army. Check
that's a good one, man. That's a good cut.
Nice,
Brad.
All right, my number 2 is really predictable.
Catastrophe.
If you know me,
I know it.
I think this is probably the first comic book movie I ever saw, and it changed blockbusters forever when it came out. And my number 2 is the 1989 Batman. It's so weird not hearing the trailer after.
Zach, you guys can lead your own slow clap.
I'm just glad it's
that was another cut
so
from not another teen movie. I'm going to see how many I can put into this panel. Molly Ringwald's here, by the way. She's lovely.
So 89, Brad.
Yeah, I was 9 years old, and this was captured my imagination. And The Dark Knight is probably a better film. But
probably.
I always treat this movie as the cheat sheet for Batman. If you want to kind of get his entire mythos condensed into a single movie without a lot of detail,
sure.
This is the one I would show to people.
Yeah.
Me and Brad have talked many times. We used to, because we're old, it was on VHS way back when, and it used to have the Warner Brothers store commercial on it, and Alfred selling Diet Coke with a little bat cape on it, and I always remember that stuff.
Yep.
And that's
you
my
can't get
memory.
your Warner Brothers movie without your Warner Brothers ball cap.
Yep, Daffy Duck.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, man.
That's right. We got a real nerd in house.
You got to come hang out after the show.
Yeah,
you're great.
It transformed the superhero genre.
Yeah, and then Michael Keaton was written off before it premiered as they're a comedian playing this dark
Mr.
brooding
Mom.
character. How can that be? And then
Yeah.
I think Batman Returns is better, but that's just me.
I think it's probably my favorite Danny Elfman score.
It's a great one.
Yeah. The Waltz of Death is awesome. It's still awesome.
That Prince soundtrack is pretty awesome too. It is. Don't deny it.
Oh, it's me. What was my number 2? Oh, yeah.
We don't know.
My number 2.
See, it's easy to forget.
Right. My number 2 is a comic book movie, but not a superhero movie. And one of those that I would certainly put probably on a top 50 of my favorite films of all time. It's one that people don't actually often know is an adaptation. My number 2 is The Road to Perdition. Which, I love this movie, and I cry at this movie, and Tom Hanks is amazing. And it's Paul Newman. You can't beat that. But I tried as I put my list together to make sure that I didn't just represent that, doing only 3 movies makes it hard because you want to jam, you want everything in there. And comics is a lot more than just superheroes, and so this was sort of my entry of oh man, like you can do so many great things in comic book pages, and then here, when you give it to Sam Mendes, you get one of the most beautiful, even just visually, like those scenes at night in the street in the rain are incredible.
I love the pace, so deliberate.
Yeah.
And well shot. It's a beautiful movie.
And Jude Law is the creepiest dude. I don't trust him. I don't like him. If I meet him, I will run away still. I love that movie. It's fantastic.
But he's so charming in real life.
I'm sure he's great.
British. I'm just guessing.
I'll never find out because I don't want to be in the same room with him. So that's my number 2.
So you have Jude Law phobia.
I do now. After that movie, yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
My number 2 is, so I'm a big Marvel guy. And
what?
Yeah, right. And so DC, I'm like, man, whatever. I like some of their movies, don't get me wrong, but I like Marvel stuff. And I actually think this is the best Marvel movie. It's a couple years old, and I think because it's not just a Marvel movie, it also is a political thriller. And it stars a legendary actor who says Hell Hydra in it, and right away I'm already on board. And my number 2 movie is Captain America, the Winter Soldier. I just love the film. I love the story. And has anybody not seen this film, right? I talked to a lot of people, and they didn't know that the Winter Soldier was Bucky, and they had the reveal in my theater. Everybody gasped. I'm like, I thought it was so obvious. But
don't you remember that super awkward slow motion death about a character no one cared about in the last movie?
Like a Wile E. Coyote death, just like,
my mom was surprised, and she was sitting next to me, and I was so ashamed. I was like, why didn't you know that was coming?
But you're like disappointed people, then you realize not everybody reads comic books. Right. And no one knows, like, they're like, a Winter Soldier, who's that guy? But no, the movie's great. It's a great political thriller. And the fight in the elevator is, I love it. If you watch the making of, they talk about how many times Chris Evans punched and got punched by someone. It's really cool. And every time he flips the shield up and puts it on his back, I want to do that. I can't. Maybe one day I'll find an elevator that goes really high up, and I'll be able to fight a bunch of dudes.
Nope.
With a shield. No. Maybe one day.
Ryan, I love your list because so far every one of them is something I really wanted on my list.
Well, that's what I go for. I'm like, who is not going to put this on their list? But no, it's one of my favorite films. I really do enjoy this film. It's because it is a superhero movie, but it goes political and
and it's got a talking Nazi brain in a computer. It's amazing.
You can tell we've done the show for 7 years, 8 years, because
I don't even know.
Finish each other's sentences.
Yeah.
Does anybody know what year The Legend of Zelda came out on the Nintendo? Anybody? Wow. I guess we'll have to wait till the next round to give out Link. The answer is, Brad?
What?
What's the answer?
85?
Oh my God.
86.
Yeah.
86.
Thank you.
Sorry.
This guy.
Zach, your list is fine too. I mean, it's not as good as Ryan's, but
yeah,
no.
I didn't want you to feel left out.
My number 1. I'm not sure if anyone else is gonna have it because
Nope.
I know we're all different. But no, this is the one like comic book film I go back to all the time. My number 1 is The Dark Knight.
Oh,
the most generic answer possible.
I don't know. Actually, now that I look at I have a feeling none of us have the same movie on any of our lists.
Probably.
Because I think I know what the rest of them are.
Yeah.
Hey, Zach, sell us this movie.
Yeah.
Tell me why I should watch The Dark
if you
Knight
don't
for
know,
the first time.
if you don't know, Christopher Nolan, this up and coming director, did this Batman movie one time over 10 years ago.
Oh my gosh. Ugh.
This film was like the event of 2008. That summer was like the theater I worked at. Like we plastered that theater with Batman stuff. Mm-hmm. And what was awesome was 2 days before it opened, we got the print, and my managers broke that lock, and we watched that movie 2 days early.
No way.
Yeah, at 1 o'clock at night.
That's awesome. I didn't know
So
that.
if anybody from Warner Brothers is listening, I apologize. I didn't break the lock myself. But it
don't
was
you have
amazing.
to check the print at a movie theater, though?
What?
So you're just making sure it's a quality print, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was quality
It's technically,
control.
quote unquote, the quality check,
You
but
had to make sure that Warner Brothers was making a good
I
product.
technically wasn't supposed to be there. It was supposed to be just the projectionist and maybe the managers.
Sure.
But they snuck me in, and then I found out the next day that we were going to have an employee screening of it, and it was mandatory. So there were 2 days in a row of not sleeping, but enjoying Batman. And just, it's it's the film. It's the Batman film that reminds me the most of not just the mythos in general, like or the comics in general, but also like the early comics. Like there's like a definite like imagery in my head I have of those older panels when I read those flashback books, where I'm just like, this just reminds me of some of the stuff that they were drawn in 1938, 1939, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Heath Ledger's great in it. Bale's great in it too. I'm actually in agreement with Ryan on this, but Harvey Dent's arc is one of the best arcs in a movie.
Yeah.
Comic book or non-comic book. And it really kind of cemented my Nolan fandom, because then after that, I went back and revisited The Prestige, which I had seen before but wasn't like super thrilled with. And then watching it again, I was like, I was super wrong. Like I don't deserve to ever speak again.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's also a movie too with the death of Rachel Dawes, which is really shocking because you're taking such an important character to Batman, and the setup for it is brilliant, because you go from the interrogation scene, which is one of the greatest scenes in cinema history, and it goes right to a gut punch to Batman, where he thinks he's going to save the person he cares about, and it doesn't work out that way, and it creates another villain, and a calculated one. And I think Two-Face and Harvey Dent is the best arc in that whole film. I mean, obviously the Joker is amazing, but I think Harvey's...
But he doesn't have an arc.
Exactly.
He's just crazy.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
He's chaos.
And that kill, like, that was like the jaw drop moment, and it didn't like lift up, because I was just like, they're going to find her in the rubble, right? It's going to be okay.
Well, that too.
Rachel.
And
it's okay, Maggie Gyllenhaal. You'll come back for 3.
Is so good at that part, because she sells it, where she's just saying it's okay, and then
and then
it's not.
And what's sad is that she actually died, because I haven't seen her in a movie since. It was terrible. Sorry, wow. That joke was so good in my. I actually am kind of. That was good.
Now you start a slow clap, Zach.
Thank you.
I'm going to pour a glass of water and then throw it in your face, then pour another glass and drink it. Oh. And then throw another one in your face.
We just lost the Gyllenhaal family ever coming on our show.
That's true. Man, me and Jake were just becoming friends. I have a quick question, though. You said that there was a mandatory screening the next day.
Yeah.
What did they do if you didn't show up? Like, could you get fired for not seeing The Dark Knight?
Well, I don't know, because I ended up attending the screening.
Well, of course, but they didn't. If somebody told me, like, hey, you have a mandatory Dark Knight screening, my first question would be like...
My guess is because they figured that they had snuck employees in the night before, and they were trying to weed it out.
Sure.
But I didn't let them on. But it's 10 years later. I think I'm clear, guys.
Gotcha. Okay. Funny. Ooh, bread.
Catastrophe. 20 minutes left. All right.
Hurry up, I'm hungry. I want some pizza.
So if you guys can't figure out what my number one is, then I guess you're not really my friends, because it's incredibly obvious. My number one is the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. This guy. We're best friends now. I grew up on this. It came out a year after that first Batman, and at the time, in the 90s, I would argue that this was the most faithful comic book adaptation. It took the original black and white comics and the storyline from Return to New York, and the director Steve Barron really blended all that into one single iconic movie for the Turtles, and most people would say they haven't done any better since then.
Why is the fight with Shredder so underwhelming?
The rooftop scene? Yes. Are you just trying to pick a fight?
Yes.
Wow.
We have no internet trolls in here, so I'm going to be one.
I don't know how to answer this, because I know that's not how you actually feel about it. So you're just trying to get at me. No, that fight's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, compared to the 2014 one where they're on an even taller building in the broad daylight, and Shredder has a million knives attached to his body.
He shoots them.
Minimalism.
Yeah. I always thought this dude who plays Shredder sounded really cool. The guy who played Shredder sounded really cool, threatening.
In the original?
Yeah.
Yeah. Back then it was just real actors and real choreography, martial artists from Golden Harvest, figuring it out in the Jim Henson Muppet Studio, doing these kind of new animatronics. And unfortunately, Jim Henson's last movie. There's a lot of just experimental stuff that they didn't think it was going to be anything. It was a small budget, did huge business. Just great work all around.
Brad, I feel like from your list, the last 30 years have been really disappointing. Especially if two of your movies were when you were 9, man.
Yeah, there's been great stuff like The Dark Knight, and the Marvel movies now, Thor Ragnarok.
But those are your favorites, which is fair. Right?
But it's, I don't know, for me, when I make a list of my all-time favorites, it's really hard to supplant the stuff you grew up on.
Especially if it's things that you were watching, that much when you were a kid. I don't know how I missed them. I do. My mom thought the Ninja Turtles were stupid. Yeah. So, we never watched the Ninja Turtle movies because she wouldn't want to watch it with us. But yeah, no, that's cool.
Yeah. And Kevin Eastman's upstairs. Go say hi. He's really cool.
I just noticed on the poster, lean, green, and on the screen. I never knew that was the tagline before. That would make me watch.
There's also, hey, dude, this is no cartoon. One of the most disappointing things, though, is because, so they were able to get away with some, martial arts violence, and then parents groups complained, and that's why in 2 and 3 they're throwing foam bats around and sausage links. So
that's ridiculous.
Thanks, Mom and Dad.
That's leading into the Power Rangers era where it was just martial arts violence. That was the whole point of the show.
Yeah.
Why would... Anyway, whatever. The 90s were dumb.
Yeah, and then Britain, they can't call them Ninja Turtles. They got to call them Hero Turtles.
Yeah.
Because Britain has a
right?
sordid history with ninjas. What, are you dying?
No, the 90s were great, James.
Speaking of James.
Hey.
Speaking of James.
My number one is probably predictable, especially if you listen to the show. I've said very hyperbolic things about this movie when it came out, and I said them when I put it at my number one last year, and I will say them again now. Logan, which is my number one here, is... Hi, Wolverine. How you doing? Logan, to me, is the fulfillment of a promise 15 years old that Sam Raimi and everybody who was involved in X-Men and Spider-Man and all that stuff that they made to us way back when, that the mythos, these modern myths that we have loved as part of comic books, would eventually be given the weight and the respect that they deserved, and we would get this amazing story that is character driven, that treats the superpowers as a special cool part of a real character-driven story. I cry at that movie every time that I watch it. I think it's beautiful. And yeah, it also sort of caps off this whole run of this character who both started that this whole modern phase of comic book movies, and then to end it with him was kind of nice. But I just think that movie is so well made and nearly perfect. If you watch it in black and white, where you can't quite tell the couple times where the CG is not quite good enough, I think it is perfect. I think it's amazing. So yeah, I couldn't think of anything that I love more as a comic book adaptation.
Yeah, we talked too about how usually when you fight your clone, maybe it doesn't work right. But in this movie, it proves that Logan's worst enemy is himself.
Yeah.
And so when bad Logan kills Professor X, it hurts him, and he has to tell him that it's not him. But that's his worst nightmare come true, is he can't control who he is.
Yeah,
and it's beautiful.
It's a movie about how your family can help you work through guilt and shame, and it's just that wrapped inside of an action movie with a guy with knives for hands. It takes seriously the things that we're all here because we love so much. Right. And that's the kind of story that I take with me and carry with me in the same way that I did when I first saw Shane, which obviously is referenced there. I would say this is a better version of that story. It's certainly one that I think a mass audience will remember a whole lot better and hopefully sort of carry with them when they have, similar problems in their own lives. But yeah, I said the same thing on the podcast when we did it, that as soon as they revealed the clone, again, spoilers, but you're here, so as soon as they revealed the clone, my initial thought, almost the same as in Star Trek Into Darkness, where he was like, "Oh, I'm Khan," and I'm sitting there for 15 minutes going could we have done something different? Same thing happened here, where for 10 minutes I'm like, shit, you went back to the well, why are we doing this? And then it wasn't till the end of the movie, and I really thought back and I went, oh, this is actually the most perfect, most brilliant way to have a villain in the movie, because that's who he really is. So
it's surprisingly the most emotionally vulnerable superhero film I've ever seen. The scene with Professor Xavier in his bed is the thing that gets me throughout of that entire film.
Yeah.
Like, it's the most heartbreaking thing I've ever seen in a superhero movie.
It's so good. Man, what a sad film. Anyway,
Ryan? All right. My number one is super predictable too, but I'm cheating on this one. My number one is Battery is Running Low. Now, this tells a story of a superhero who needs to charge up every day. No, it's...
oh, Brad, I love you so much.
It's... That got me.
Look at that glorious Van Dyke man.
Also, a long-running joke in our podcast. So, is Spider-Man: Homecoming, because I think it's actually the best Spider-Man movie. It's not my favorite Spider-Man movie. My favorite Spider-Man movie is the 2002 Spider-Man movie, but I think it's the best one. I think Tom Holland's the best Spider-Man, and so I cheated and put Spider-Man: Homecoming so it encompass all Spider-Man movies.
Who's in the movie? I can't tell by the poster.
And also on the podcast, I have this, and in real life, I have this huge crush on Robert Downey Jr., and so I watched all his movies at one point for the podcast, and so now there's a longer-running joke that I love him, which is not a joke, it's true.
And because all of the marketing for that movie was, come see Robert Downey Jr., also Spider-Man.
But the movie's great. I love the father dynamic of it. I think it fits the characters well. I love the idea of him getting a suit from Tony. And Michael Keaton is amazing in it. I think my favorite scene last year is when he's driving him to the prom and he figures out Peter Parker's Spider-Man. And it's an amazing scene. And as a Spider-Man fan, when he's in the warehouse and all the stuff falls on him and he has to lift it off and he's willing himself to fight, I think is the perfect analogy of Spider-Man is, he's telling himself, come on, Spider-Man, and he has to fight. And he's not the strongest, but he'll never give up. And then he saves the Vulture, too, and I still cry, and my wife makes fun of me, and I tell her she'll never understand, and she's like, I won't understand. And I tell her, okay, just let me have my crying session by myself. And that's my life.
Well, that was a happy podcast. Thanks for coming, everybody.
Prizes?
Who wants to cry with us?
Yeah, who wants to cry with us? We love crying.
We have 6 minutes.
Anybody in here?
We have 6 minutes.
I know.
Well, then you better vamp, Brad, because I'm done.
Does anybody own a Nintendo Switch in here? All the way in the back. What's your favorite game for Nintendo Switch? That is a great game.
That's a good answer.
Do you need an 8-bit Link? You know what? Come on down and pick up your 8-bit Link.
Well, you had the correct answer from before too. So
you did.
Yeah, you earned that.
You did. And so, what is your favorite comic book movie?
Probably 30 Days of Night.
Ooh, there you go.
30 Days a Night is a good cut, man. If only for Ben Foster in that movie, because he's incredible.
Thanks for participating.
Yeah, man.
30 Days of Night is fantastic.
Yeah.
Man. Oh, and stickers. Nice. Oh, that's all the amiibos we have. Wait a minute. I pulled it out of the treasure chest with the sound effect. No one's impressed.
What's that from?
Well, you didn't do it into the mic, so no one heard it.
Thank you. I got someone clapping, and that's all that matters to me. You guys give it out. I'm tired of coming up with all the answers.
No.
To your life, to this podcast.
My goodness. You're addictive. Does anybody have one that we haven't talked about here that they really want to share? Like a comic book adaptation that they really love that we haven't talked about.
Keep in mind the
There are
Phantom
many.
doesn't count.
The Shadow counts.
The Shadow does count.
Men
Yeah,
Men in
that's
Black.
true.
Oh, that is a good one. Man.
Was it your favorite film from 97, 2000? I don't even know. I don't like it.
Yeah, it was one of ours.
97.
Did we both do it for 97?
It was my number one, yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely high up there because it's incredible. Ryan doesn't like that movie because he's
Nope.
weird.
Not weird.
Even though it's fantastic, and it's like 80 minutes long. It's the easiest movie to watch, and it's hilarious.
I'm not a big fan of Big Willie style.
Well, clearly you weren't around for the Millennium because it was a movement. It was amazing.
It shaped the nation.
It did. Yeah.
Anybody
That's a really
else?
good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
These guys appreciate it.
Yeah. Anybody else have one that we didn't talk about? Yeah, same. Oh, that's
Infinity
true.
War.
I did. So the whole struggle, I didn't put a Marvel Studios movie on my list, which felt gross, and I couldn't figure out which one I would do. I thought about Winter Soldier. Infinity War is this unprecedented, never happened before in movies thing that it's hard not to draw attention to, because that as much as Avengers shouldn't have worked 10 years ago, that movie is incredible.
Oh yeah, I'm amazed that they're able to balance all those actors, all those characters.
Yeah, and
in a weird way, it is accessible. It's just like, as long as you are familiar with the brand imaging, I think you're fine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And even if you're not, I mean, I know people who haven't seen a lot of those movies and still went in and understood what was going on.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple characters that if you didn't get, you'd be like, why? How come that guy can shoot lasers from his hands and make things move?
And it's wonderful in the sense that Thanos it's all from his point of view. Yeah. And it's incredible to find that you have a form of empathy with the villain of that film.
Thank you. Man, I thought that guy just carried giant number cards around with him. That took me a second.
No, they're telling us we need 5 minutes. We do have a few more things. I still have another amiibo.
I think we should give it to Men in Black.
Men in Black?
Yeah.
Men in Black.
Yeah.
Woohoo. Ha ha.
See, it's really easy.
Yeah, you did fall.
I'm so sad I was late.
If you'd been here, I wouldn't have fallen.
If I'd been here, I would have got to see it.
We also have a Denver Comic-Con exclusive Real Nerd shirt, only in lady sizes. So, men, if you feel like you want really short sleeves to accentuate your guns, we have those.
You can cut the bottom half off and wear it when you work out in the 80s. Thank you.
If you have pets,
do I win anything for biggest laugh of the show? That was great. Oh, man, I'm done. Thanks, guys.
If you have pets, you can cut it up, repurpose it for them.
Yes. Give me a movie trivia question.
What kind of movie trivia question?
What film did the Infinity War just pass on the all-time list box office numbers?
Brad, over here. No, he
Titanic, you got it. Do you want a woman's shirt, or we have some from the previous year that are for men?
You can frame it and put it on a wall.
Yes. You got it.
Great.
And also from 2016.
16.
For your 2 minutes of fame, what's your favorite comic book movie? That's a good one. Ooh!
Rise of Cobra? Or,
are we talking modern superpower ones, or are we talking about the animated ones? Oh, okay. Yeah, those are cool. I actually really like those. Yeah.
I thought Jogo was a fine Cobra Commander.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I really wanted to. I wished he was in the sequel doing the voice. It would have been so awesome. It'd be like, this guy's super talented.
People underestimate Stephen Sommers.
Yeah.
I want him to make more movies.
Oh, yeah?
Like that, because that movie is. I know, but I know no one goes to see them because they're bad, but they're fun. Like that G.I. Joe movie is silly, but it's cool. Like you get to jump through windows in superpower suits and stuff. Like that's a good pick. You know. Oh yeah, absolutely. Dude, how many blind ninja movies are there? Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right.
I'm going to give this shirt because I like your hat.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Would you like a shirt?
And you were terribly engrossed the whole time, which was great. Either that or you were reading stuff on your phone, which is also
And
fun,
Ryan's about to try out for the Rockies.
Yeah.
Stepping up to the mound is number 0, Ryan Frost.
Not just the looks, it's also the athletic ability. Thank you, everybody, for coming to our podcast. We really appreciate it. I thought we were going to have James's fiance here only. So, thank you.
A lot of you here. I don't know what the next panel is, but you guys are definitely early for it, and I appreciate you being on time.
Yeah, thank you.
There's also, if you come by our booth upstairs, there's more stickers and stuff like that are free, and you can come up here and get some.
And you can record on our show up there.
Yeah.
It's 105.
Yeah.
And we do have a Blu-ray. We did a web series. Only 3 left in existence that we found when we went through storage. Yeah. So if you want one, they are up there.
Easy way to find us is if you know where Celebrity Summit is and you just turn around, you'll see our sign. We're right up there on that corner. So,
absolutely.
So, yeah. Thanks so much, everybody. Y'all are amazing.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Oh, goodness. Oh.
I am genuinely moved. Thank you.